Hello and welcome to a Sunday Reflection. My name is Paul Harvey and this is Life, Passion and Business. We're about helping you explore, finding your passion for life and the work that you do. But it's so much more than that. It's about finding clues to the big life questions. What does it mean to be successful? What is the meaning of life? If you're looking for more, then join me on this journey where together we will discover through interviews, tools and tips how to live life full of meaning, passion and purpose. So over the last couple of weeks, I have obviously been involved, couple of months, I've been involved in spirituality. And I've been having lots and lots of conversations with people about this, about the nature of reality, the nature of the reality that we live in. And it's been really interesting exploring that nature, that idea, and hearing stories from people about how things just happen that they didn't expect or that were so out of the ordinary. And it's this thing about coincidence. And it is an interesting thing, coincidence, because, we thought sometimes some people's lives seem to really flow into coincidences. There seems to be this natural pattern for them that things happen. Now, you could say that you only notice coincidence when you notice it. Life goes on normally and maybe you don't notice it. And I guess maybe there needs to be some kind of real research and mapping of someone's life to determine how unusual coincidence is. It'll be an interesting exercise. God knows how you kind of put together a research program around it, but it might be fun to try. But what the crux of this for me is, though, is this idea that, it's this idea that something is kind of mapping it out for us, or there is a path. And when you're kind of on that path, things start to flow. Simon Jordan talks a lot about flow in his life and about how when he stopped pushing and fighting, it just flowed. Sarah McCrum talked about the same sort of thing. Patty Lennon talked about the same sort of thing. Many people that I am involved or connect with, they all talk about once they give up the struggle or once they approach it from the right perspective, things drop into place. Now, here's the thing for me, is that I may have put this out on a post somewhere. I'm really starting to wonder whether this is a virtual reality simulation. We look at matter and we're all made of the same stuff. So maybe this is the stuff that makes up virtual reality. This is what it's made of. And then you start to think back about some of the other aspects. How long have I been talking for? I don't want to bore everybody and talk for so long. 3 minutes, okay. What really has been getting me is thinking about this sense of that in a lot of religions, there are kind of set rules about living. And one of the rules is that you don't kill yourself. And it used to be illegal. It used to be, to commit suicide in the UK was an illegal act and you could be arrested. Attempted suicide, you would end up in kind of prosecuted afterwards for attempting to take your life. And now they don't call it committing suicide anymore. That's not taken as quite such it's not illegal anymore, although it's illegal to assist someone. But what is more interesting for me is this idea that in a lot of cultures and certainly in a lot of religion, it was against God's will to take your own life. It wasn't your responsibility to take a life. And I wonder where that came from, or why that was so important, why it was so looked down on. And yet in Japan, it's kind of like the samurai would do that. They would take their own lives, and it was accepted and honorable. And it's kind of interesting about this concept, about where did the idea come from that it was so important not to take your own life? Now, I'm not talking about from the perspective that I want to take my life. It's just, I'm just curious about this where that kind of thought process came from. Where did it come from? Now, follow this for me. If we were in a virtual reality simulation, what if being here was a huge privilege? What if being in the simulation was actually something that we had to fight for to get here? And now you start to see the value of it, the importance of being here. And what happens if being here was the best it gets? Because going back to where we came from ain't a great place. These are the thinking that I'm going on. It's a journey. It's just it's a thought exercise. You know, if this was a virtual reality existence and we're hating this bit, what are we coming from to come here? Yeah, that's what is really, really fascinating, isn't it? Maybe it's shit where we are, and this is how you live, you know, get to explore something special. Now, here's the thing, the luck of the draw. You know, we are born at the moment of conception, you know, we're the winner of the ultimate race. You know, what is it, 50 million sperm are out in ejaculation, and one of those sperm makes it to the egg. That is one hell of a race to be in and to win. And so maybe that's part of it, is that is the fight to life for life. And that's probably why we have to value this life so much, because maybe it is a massive privilege to be here. And yet, and I hear a lot of people say this, you know, Pamela Grimm talks about it being a privilege to be here. So many people I meet talk about it to be a massive privilege to wake up every day and do this life. And yet so many of us don't appreciate it. And I, for one, I put my hand up, say there are times that I don't appreciate what I have or what I'm living with. And so it's just extremely interesting to me, this idea that being here is a privilege, is a privilege to be recognized and to be felt and to be valued. And it's very possible, with everything that I've learned over the past 2 months, that we can actually have anything we want with the right mindset around it. The challenge, I think, the challenge for me is bloody knowing what I want, because most of the time I don't. So there's the thing. There's a question. You know, I want this. I thoroughly enjoy doing podcasting. And so I guess, yes, this is probably what I want. Yes, I have to say, I want to do this. I enjoy doing this. But what is the bigger picture? What is the bigger map for my life going forward? So that's where I am at the moment, trying to work out where I go the next steps. How do I step up to be more of me? So there you go. That's my Monday reflection. That should have been a Sunday reflection, but that's where I was yesterday. That's what I was considering yesterday, and I didn't quite have the energy to put it out to you. I've done it today. So there you go. I would love to hear what your thoughts are. Are we in a virtual reality setup? Is this what it is? Or is it just something else? I don't know. Thoughts on a postcard. No, thoughts and comments. Love to know what you're talking about. I'd love to know what you're thinking about, not talking about. Anyway, that's me for today. I thought I would put that in there, and I will see you again on Wednesday, probably. I'll do a live at 5, most likely. Anyway, all the best. Have a great week or start of week. And that is my reflection for today. So tell me, are you on the Christmas Advent gratitude journey? I tell you, it's really, really worth doing, because this gratitude process kind of evolves and blossoms on Christmas Day, because you do it for the whole of the month. And it's just Such a wonderful piece. If you want to know more about that process, do check out the link above, because it takes you to a free ticket on spirituality, and you can hear our explanation of the Christmas gratitude process. And if you want to join in at a deeper level, you can take advantage of the offer on spirituality and get a full immersion into the process. Anyway, that's it for me today. What else am I going to say? While I'm here, do check out some of the resources at Life, Passion and Business. Under the publications tab, there's a couple of resources there for you, one on focus and one on happiness, I think. And there's also a free resource, which is the 5 questions workbook. Now that is really worth checking out. It is the basis of the podcast, and it is something that I'm going to be going back to, because as you've already heard in my podcast, I'm having some existential crisis issues that I need to resolve. And there's that point 5 in that. The question 5 is the one about what is the meaning of it, or why are we here? And so that is really worth looking at, and I'm going to go back and look at that myself. Anyway, that is me for this week. Check out the links in the show notes above. Other than that, I'm always happy to accept questions, comments, and likes and subscriptions, because they all help us build this podcast. Anyway, thank you for your support, and stay safe, be well, and look after yourself. All the best.